Hey everyone, welcome to my new video. This time we're gonna do something a little bit different. In this video I had a bunch of my friends play as countries and then force them to form that country's historical rival, which ended up meaning that Bohemia had to form Austria, a Poland player had to form Rome, Muscovy had to form the Golden Horde, Ireland had to form England, Scotland also had to form England, and the Korea player had to form Japan. If they actually managed to form that country in the time that I gave them, well, you're gonna have to watch the video for that. Enjoy the video. Back to the actual game. So the first thing I let the people do when we got into this session was that I gave everyone 5 minutes to prepare their country before we actually unpaused the game, which ended up meaning that a lot of people were in a time rush to get all of their setups done in time, and inevitably some people did end up forgetting to set up things such as alliances. However, one more thing that happened during these 5 minutes is that I said this. Okay, so the two guys forming England probably would have like the easiest times. This. Keep this in mind for later, I promise it. When you look back at it, it's gonna be funny. And basically, as soon as I unpaused, Muscovy immediately declares war on Novgorod, which is a pretty usual play to be fair, but Scotland also invades an Irish minor country, which I didn't expect to happen. And another thing that I didn't expect to happen is for the Scottish player to literally ally the Irish player immediately, which was going to change the power dynamics of the British Isles a lot. And actually, right after winning their war against the Irish minor, they immediately declared war against England, which had pretty powerful allies, to be fair. So this was going to be a pretty dragged out war right at the start of the game. Meanwhile, on the other side of Earth, Korea was already invading their first Manchurian tribe, which this was definitely not going to be their last one. However, they did have to go over force limit in order to be able to invade their first Manchurian tribe this early. Moving on to the next player nation, the Poland player decided to pick the very good local ruler instead of taking the PU over Lithuania, and he also decided to immediately take out some loans to become the defender of the faith for some very nice stat buffs. And right after doing that, he also invaded Moldova instead of taking them as a march. Don't ask me why. Anyways, the next country we're going to talk about is Bohemia. Bohemia's entire strategy in this game was based around the fact that they tried to get emperor themselves, and then when Austria would be dethroned, Austria would be much weaker and very easy to kill. So for the first move, they just did a punitive war on Hungary instead of attacking Austria as soon as possible. It was at this point in time when tragedy struck for the Poland player, because after less than 10 years, his 666 ruler had already died. And that is what he chose over the Lithuania PU, which means that in the end he probably would have gotten much more value out of the Lithuania personal union instead of the ruler he chose. Oh right, let's check in on how England is going. While what you just saw was a massive victory for the Scottish and Irish, this by no means was the end of the war. We are still just at the beginning of this conflict. The main reason why this war isn't over at all at this point is because the English allies are only now really starting to have an impact on the conflict, with Portuguese, Danish and Norwegians all landing in Scotland, and sieging them down now, which, considering the mercenaries that the Scottish have, could mean that bankruptcy is a real possibility. However, at this time another major conflict just started, with the Polish going to war with the Ottomans, and the Ottomans were actually involved in the Neapolitan Independence War, which means that a bunch of their troops and their fleet were distracted and weren't able to fight the Polish immediately. And with that, the First Polish-Ottoman War ended in a Polish victory, with them taking Constantinople.
Meanwhile...
No! Wait!
And so Scotland bankrupted, and after that nothing really changed anymore in the British Isles, as the fate of the Irish and Scottish player were pretty much sealed at this point. But what were all of the other players doing these major wars? So Korea puppeted Nivk, and the plans of Bohemia to become emperor of the HRE pretty much completely fell through because a female got in charge of Bohemia, which means that they were not eligible to succeed the Holy Roman Empire. And moving on to the last country, Muscovy invaded the Great Horde and did annex most of it. Oh, Scotland died. Well, anyways. Why did Muscovy get... why did they get that province? Quick intermission before we continue with the video. I just want to say that if you suggest a video idea and we turn that idea into a video, your comment is gonna get a shout out in that video starting from today. So make sure to leave your suggestions in the comments below. Enjoy the rest of the video.
These rebels, I just can't like fucking stack wipe them.
You come from nowhere.
What is... did anyone else hear that?
I
don't know.
Yes.
Oh, it's my
Wait, everyone be
brother.
quiet.
Shorts.
Everyone be quiet.
It's my brother.
Jokes aside though, now that Korea had finished its preparations, it was beginning its invasion of Japan. However, the invasion itself was pretty anticlimactic, as just as quickly as it had progressed, it already ended because of the land force limit issues that I foreshadowed earlier, meaning that Korea quickly went bankrupt after they had started their big war. At this point in the game, I had also kicked all of the players that went bankrupt because it speeds up the game, and it also gives the players that are in the game still more of a chance to form their goal country. As you could also probably see in the background footage, Bohemia invaded Austria and was very successful with that invasion. However, another thing that happened during this war is that France also declared on Austria for their conquest of the Austrian exclaves in Alsace, which had the potential to completely change the game, because in order for Bohemia to form Austria, Austria obviously isn't allowed to exist, meaning that if France could take a lot of Austria in the peace deal, Bohemia might only have to fight one war in order to be able to form Austria. However, as there was only less than half an hour left, the players were in a rush to form their historical rivals as quickly as possible. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, fuck, that sound effect was way louder than I thought. Anyways, with that, Marisian or Bohemia has won the game, and his prize was getting a unique role on my server, which is linked in the pinned comment below. And I really hope you enjoyed this as I did when hosting it, and make sure to like and subscribe to see even more videos of mine.